sticky point on it. What challenges have you or your leads faced when fostering strong cross-functional team dynamics? And you cannot mention communication, because I think we have established the fact that that is always an issue, and you could just every question you could just put communicate better. So what do you think are some other challenges you face that impact the team dynamic?
There is one thing which may seem to be contradictory to what Bobby said just now about collaborative work and the common goal, etc. But in fact, it is not. So one of the challenges I see is the kind of a lack of understanding of the responsibilities and the roles of the leads. So, and sometimes it leads to the lack of ownership. I hear sometimes about the joint ownership, but honestly, I'm not a very big fan of this concept, because when the ownership is joint, we may end up with nobody having the ownership. So I think it's very important for every lead of every function to be very clear of what processes and what deliveries they are own and what they are accountable for. So a process may include different multiple roles with different multiple responsibilities, but there must be one owner, and this owner should be well aware of what they're accountable for.
That was brilliant. I could not agree more, right? Like it seems like you're shrinking your responsibilities down, and that can be seen as a negative thing, but it's not. The more clear cut your swim lane is, the less confusion there is of who's taking that ball, whose ball is that to grab. So Evgeny, I think that's a brilliant point. I think taking this question and expanding it beyond just the internal CRO team presents some other kind of issues or solutions that we might face in terms of cross-functional. And here I'm actually talking about the CRO working cross-functionally with the sponsor. That relationship can oftentimes be very confrontational. The sponsor sees the CRO as, we're paying you X amount of dollars, we expect perfection, and they have that right? These are not cheap things that they're asking us to do. However, if that relationship gets to that contention, that can be a real challenge. And now you're not working collaboratively, you're working very just kind of point and you do this, and it's not the best tandem movement towards that common goal of conducting a successful trial. So I would say that the challenge of maintaining a good, healthy relationship with the sponsor is a real challenge, but a good lead can act proactively and can ensure that that relationship maintains strong balance and does not devolve towards that kind of, you have to do this now or else type thing.
I think something that is also a challenge is conflicting priorities. So this sort of links in with what you guys said, right? So as leads, we are not necessarily all working on the same studies together. So you might have that your biostatistics lead also have deliverables on another study, or the data management lead has an interim log and a final log. But if you have that understanding of what the different roles are working with, it can really help to understand that this primary outcome that you're now working with might not be the only thing that this individual is focusing on. And then that lack of trust. So the moment that you start with blame shifting between roles and misaligning the communications with the expectations, that really just breaks down the collaboration within the team. So I think what you said, Evgeny, is so important, that we need to as leads, make the effort to understand what the other leads are doing, when they are doing it, what does it entail, so that you can know when they will need what they need, and trust that they will then be doing what they need to do. Understand that, there might be some conflict in priorities. Not everyone has the same priorities that we focus on in our functional lead position.
Yeah, and it brings us back to Bobby's comment that, we need to educate people, and every functional lead should be familiar with the problems and the processes of the other functional groups.